Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. You've probably heard the rumors swirling around, and if you're as passionate about the Bills as I am, you know that every little piece of news, every move, every tweak in the roster can be the difference between a deep playoff run and yet another season that leaves us wanting more. And right now, the buzz is all about the possibility of Harrison Phillips returning to Buffalo. Yes, you heard that right. The same Harrison Phillips who's been making waves with the New York Jets is being talked about as a potential new addition to the Bills' defensive front. And honestly, this could be one of those strategic moves that really shifts the balance in the AFC East and beyond. Let's set the scene a bit. The Bills, sitting at a solid 5-3 record in division, are looking to reinforce a defensive line that's been hit hard by injuries. We all know the importance of that interior defensive line. It's the backbone of any good defense, especially in today's NFL where the run game and pressure on the quarterback are king. The Bills have faced a few setbacks recently, with Ed Oliver and Jordan Jones both battling injuries, which have exposed certain vulnerabilities. Oliver, who's been a key piece for us, suffered a biceps injury, and Jones has been sidelined with a calf strain. These injuries have forced the Bills to dig deep into their depth chart and shuffle players around, but the urgency for reinforcements has become clear. And that's where Harrison Phillips comes into play. For those who might not be aware, Phillips is a 29-year-old defensive tackle who's known for his run-stuffing ability, his solid tackling, and his consistency. His style reminds many of Shelton, especially in his peak years. Phillips is the kind of player who's not flashy but gets the job done. He's a tackle machine, especially against the run, and he's excellent at clogging up the middle, making it tough for opposing offenses to establish a consistent ground game. Last season with the Jets, Phillips played 8 games, racking up 45 tackles, including 28 solo stops, along with 2 sacks and 22 pressures. He maintains a high PFF grade of 85. And has a win rate of about 22%, which is pretty solid for a defensive interior player. What makes this even more interesting is his recent impact in 2023. Over the course of the season, he's been a key contributor for the Vikings, boosting their run defense significantly. His ability to generate run stops, in fact, over 90 this season, shows how vital he can be in anchoring a defensive front. In Week 5 alone, he delivered 8 tackles, dominating interior offensive linemen and disrupting opposing plays. His stats are impressive. He's good at setting the edge with a run defense grade around 83. And he's capable of generating pressures that force quarterbacks to hurried throws. His YAC yards after catch deflection is also noteworthy, averaging just 4.2 yards, which shows he's effective at limiting yards after catch, a crucial aspect in today's passing-heavy league. But why would the Bills be so interested in bringing him back? Well, for starters, the Bills are facing a bit of a crisis in their interior defensive line, especially given the injuries to Oliver and Jordan Phillips. The team has a cap space of around $4 million, which provides some flexibility for a move like this. The Jets, meanwhile, are sitting at 4-4 and with a cap of around $8. $6 million, they are looking to rebuild after losing quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who was supposed to be their franchise savior but suffered an Achilles tear early in the season. So, the Jets are in a bit of a rebuild mode, trying to shed salary and rebuild their roster, which opens the door for trades. Now, from the Bills' perspective, adding Phillips would be huge. It's not just about plugging a hole, it's about elevating the entire defensive scheme. Harrison Phillips would join Ed Oliver, a player who's been showing flashes of brilliance, especially when healthy. Together, they could form a formidable duo in the middle, a true wall that makes life miserable for opposing running backs and disrupts plays in the backfield. His presence would also help the Bills' defensive pressure, giving the team a boost in sacks and QB hits, something that's been a bit inconsistent this season. And let's talk about schematics for a moment. The Bills run a 4-3 scheme, which means having that strong, reliable nose tackle and defensive tackle in the middle is crucial. Phillips's skill set fits perfectly into that mold. His ability to occupy blockers and generate pressure aligns with what defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier wants. A defense that's aggressive against the run, but also capable of creating pressure on the quarterback. His impact would be felt immediately, raising the Bills' interior defensive line success rate by a significant margin. And he's not just a run stuffer. He can also contribute to the pass rush, especially in situations where the Bills need to generate sacks or force hurried throws. What about the potential impact on the team's overall performance? Well, a healthy Harrison Phillips could project an additional 60 tackles over the rest of the season, along with about 7 tackles for loss and a PFF grade boosting the defensive line's overall performance by around 6.5 points. When paired with Oliver, who's returning from injury and performing at an elite level, his PFF grade this season is nearly 86. This duo could be a nightmare for offenses. Their combined presence would help the Bills control the line of scrimmage, reduce yardage on the ground, and pressure opposing quarterbacks more consistently. The impact on the scoreboard could be significant, reducing points allowed from around 23 per game to closer to 20, and giving the Bills' offense, led by Josh Allen, more opportunities to extend drives and score. And speaking of the offense, Allen is thriving in this new dynamic. His ability to extend plays and create opportunities is complemented by a more balanced attack that benefits from a defense that can hold leads and create turnovers. With a stronger interior line, Allen might find even more lanes to run and more time to throw, which is critical when facing high-powered defenses like the Dolphins or Ravens later in the season. The Bills are currently sitting at 5-3, but with this added boost on defense, they could easily push that record upward, maybe even into the 11-6 range, which would be a real statement in the AFC. Now, let's put this into perspective with the bigger picture. The odds for the Bills to win the Super Bowl have been around plus 2,500, but with this move, many analysts believe those odds could shorten significantly, maybe even to around plus 1,600. It's not just about one player, it's about the ripple effect, the confidence this gives the entire roster and coaching staff. When you add a player like Harrison Phillips, who's proven he can make a difference in the interior, it's a signal to everyone in the league that the Bills are serious about contending again. It's about reinforcing that identity of toughness and resilience, especially in a division that's only getting more competitive with teams like the Dolphins and Jets trying to make their mark. And speaking of the Jets, they're a bit more skeptical right now. Their defense is giving up about 25 points per game, and they're prioritizing their offensive line in free agency and trades, with their PFF grades indicating some inconsistencies up front. Losing players like Phillips could weaken their interior even further, especially if they don't add depth soon. The Jets are trying to rebuild after losing Rodgers, but their youth on defense remains a question mark. Meanwhile, the Bills, with their experience and strategic moves, are positioning themselves to capitalize on these divisions, especially if they can secure a strong interior presence like Phillips. In fact, the impact of this potential trade could go beyond just the regular season. It could be a catalyst for playoff success, boosting the Bills' chances of making a deep run. The AFC is stacked, no doubt about it, but a solid, disruptive defensive line can be the X-factor in close games. It's about creating turnovers, stopping the run, and pressuring quarterbacks like Tua Tagovailoa or Lamar Jackson, which are critical in the postseason. The Bills have always been a team that emphasizes their offense, but now, with a recharged defensive line featuring Oliver and potentially Phillips, they could be a nightmare for any opponent. Looking at the historical context, defensive tackle trades have often been pivotal in shaping championship defenses. Think about the teams that have won Super Bowls. Many of them had a dominant interior line. That's the blueprint. Adding Phillips, who's experienced, reliable, and proven in the league, could be exactly what the Bills need to elevate their defense to that next level. His ability to stuff the run, generate pressure, and contribute to the overall team effort aligns perfectly with the Bills' goals of building a balanced, championship-caliber roster. In conclusion, this move, if it happens, could be one of the most significant of the season for the Bills. It's about more than just filling a roster spot. It's about sending a clear message that Buffalo is all in on contending. It's about stabilizing the defensive front, giving the coaching staff more options, and ultimately, giving the fans hope and excitement for what's to come. The AFC East is heating up, and with the potential addition of Harrison Phillips, the Bills are positioning themselves not just as contenders, but as serious favorites to make a deep playoff push and challenge for the Super Bowl once again. Stay tuned because this story is far from over, and I'll be right here with all the updates, analysis, and insights you need to stay ahead of the game. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Buffalo Bills news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Harrison Phillips return? Do you think it's the move that can push us over the edge? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news. This team is on the rise and every move counts. Keep the passion alive and let's see what the future holds for this incredible franchise. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Bills.